We are up and going again on the live stream for Crone's Crucible. Welcome to anybody that's watching us on video or watching us live. Sometime this week or next, we should be seeing our edition of Dragon Plus coming out. It comes out about the middle of the month. And so watch for us. It is an e-magazine that you have to get either online or as an app on your phone. Just look for Dragon Plus with a plus sign, not with PLUS, as an app on your phone, and you can read all the news about what's going on with Dungeons and Dragons World and so forth. It is put out by Wizards of the Coast, and it's a very interesting magazine that keeps you up to date on everything in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. We have a couple of people, as usual, are a little bit slow getting to their positions, so let me put the avatars up here instead of the videos, because we don't have all the videos quite up and set yet. So I will swap that over, and we'll just use avatars for a little bit while we're getting these up and going. What has happened in your world this week, gang?
A lot of work. That's about all.
Yeah, it's been crazy for me too. Worked 6 days last week. Ended up with like 50-something hours last week.
Yeah, same here. Just lots of work. I am looking forward to the 8 of my next 11 days off now.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. Hopefully.
Same for me. This week I have Wednesday and Thursday off, and then next week I only work on Thursday.
Well, that'll be good. My hours will shorten when school starts, so I will be glad to have that as well. And Lynn, as usual, is working crazy and doing her various conventions. Anything?
I'm here.
Anything special coming up with you?
No, I'm done for the season right now, but I'll be starting up working at Party City again, woohoo, for October, because, Halloween, trollolo.
Will you be doing your grooming service as well at that time, doing both, or?
Well, it's my roommate's grooming service. I'm more like her assistant, most likely.
I mean, will you be doing that at the same time as my question?
Yeah.
Well, very good.
October's like the only time of the year I work like 2 jobs and hate myself for it. But hey, that's okay, because by the time I'm done, it's BlizzCon season. So I can't complain. I can't complain about that. All the money I made just went right out back into Blizzard. It's like great.
Do you actually get to attend BlizzCon live?
I was going to this year, but certain plans fell through. So that'll be hopefully next year. And I know there's several people from Cult of the Forgotten who are also possibly looking to do that as well. So it's like, hey, come meet your new sovereign.
That would be great. That would be great. Yeah. Sovereignus or whatever. Yep. I remember.
It's a gender-neutral term.
Yes, we had the that argument with somebody who was RP police back in my Cult of the Forgotten days when I was termed a lord, and they got all bent out of shape that I couldn't be a lord because.
Oh yeah, no, that was actually funny like little side anecdote. Someone ended up calling the Earthshaper Lady Earthshaper, and she's like, no, it's Lord Earthshaper. You will get it right, or I'm going to flay you.
Yeah, exactly. A lady exchequer to the crown is still called the Lord Exchequer, not the Lady Exchequer.
Original Apophis is the one who made this title. He said Lord, so it's Lord.
And that is entirely accurate. The Lord is a title in certain situations. So it is totally gender neutral. Absolutely.
It is good to know this for no various reasons now.
Trivia.
It's my neck of the woods, but the only thing is, now that the small children are beginning to sleep, the next transition is getting them to sleep upstairs in a properly dark room.
Well, that
And
would
then
be
when
good.
they get settled with that, I may begin planning the next mirror campaign.
Oh, are you going to stream it?
We'll see.
You're
I do.
welcome to use the Crone's channel.
If I was streaming, I would be using your channel
There you go.
because I would be saying, "Hey Anna, would you like to be my technical director?"
Yeah.
You don't have to do it and
If you can solve some of the problems that I haven't been able to solve, absolutely, I will empathize indefinitely.
I would be more than happy to have you stream it, provided I don't have to and BM. I don't know how you do it. You're insane.
Oh yeah, well, I'm ADD and multitasker and so forth, so it gets a little crazy sometimes, but you know. All right, when we left off last week, we had not exactly a cliffhanger. It was a little bit, it had kind of resolved itself. The initial heart-thumping moment of Epotus heading up the hill to do battle or whatever with Strahd by himself kind of resolved itself. He tried to challenge Strahd or draw him out and bring him down where he could see him, but Strahd refused to take the bait. And he arrived in a swarm of bats. He arrived as a very large bat and disappeared over the wall after having issued commands to the wolves. He then flew over the wall into the monastery that is going on. So let me kind of move things around here so you can see what's going on. Basically, I'm showing this to the audience. The rest of you can see it very well. Basically, we've got a situation here where the wolves are streaming in the front gate here of the monastery, headed for it. The large group of I keep wanting to call them ravens, but they're bats, that are here are hovering, flying in circles over the monastery in a rather protective-looking way. And the large bat has disappeared from sight. Epotus, after having attempted to call out Strahd, just barely managed to escape the large group of wolves that were coming in the front gate. But they were ordered off and had to go to protect Strahd or whatever they're doing, and Epotus managed to get away down the road. He has since ridden down and around the road. Meanwhile, down in the village itself, another situation was going on. We had a situation where the vampire sire, if you will, the one who had turned victor, sensed him and attempted to pull him out of a protective hut, which Sylvia had created up here by the holy water and the statue of the Morning Lord that was up here. Tempted to pull him out, and the rest of the Dawn Watch and their cohorts had to wrestle him to a standstill to get him to stop trying to follow the commands of the vampire that was outside in these scattered trees hiding. The others, while Victor was being kept under control by Sylvia, the others left the tiny hut and proceeded to try and go out to fight the vampire, which they did quite effectively. Vlad put a large area of sunlight, daylight, on the thing and was able to move fast enough to keep it on the vampire, and that, with a few damages from some weapons, managed to actually pull him down. So for the first time in a very long time, are you there, Victor?
Yep.
How long has it been?
Let me check. I believe it was either 30 or 40 years since he was turned.
So in decades. It's the first
Yep.
time in decades. Victor doesn't feel the nagging pull of the command at the back of his mind. It got very strong while Escher, the vampire, was close. And he's now free of that, and so he has more control of himself than he has in decades. Alexander and Dirok went out to help Vlad defeat Escher. So this is where we take off with a POTUS riding down the hill. Sylvia was the one who kept Victor safe. So what is...
I believe where we last left off last week, Strahd was yelling in rage, and Victor had screamed a certain phrase.
Yes, and...
That goes down in one of the greatest PC moments of all time.
And as I mentioned to Victor, Seeley afterwards, he probably would not get exactly the response from Strahd he might wish, because he might take that comment a little too literally. But nevertheless, you definitely have Strahd's attention. And so we begin. The wolves have continued streaming on inside. What is Dirok going to do?
Yes.
I'm glad it's not.
Oh, what am I doing?
Yes.
Oh, seeing that the vampire's dead, I just kind of give Alex a side eye before I start running back to Sylvia and Victor, making sure Sylvia's all right, since I don't know if anything happened. So I'm running back off this way.
Okay, POTUS, which way are you moving?
I guess further down the hill and more dashing.
Very good. And Alexander, now that you've got this dead vampire, which incidentally is laying pretty much at your feet, not far from you, and he is no longer in mist form. The minute he died, he fell from the air and landed in humanoid form.
I am
How
gonna
do you
pry
turn
open
to
this.
ash?
Wait, sorry. Say, actually, this is a question. Does the sunlight turn him to ash, or is as per all old vampire myths, or is he just skin burns?
No, he just was burnt to death, basically. And he's burnt, but he is not ash. He's just...
I'll pry open the mouth and try and rip out a fang.
Very good. Give
Do I
me
roll straight, or do I just straight up rip out the fang? Because I figure I can manage it.
Yeah, you're pretty strong. Beat a DC 10 strength roll and you get a fang.
Please fail.
Nope.
Ah.
You actually not only get a fang, but a couple of the side teeth as well.
Nice. Heck a souvenir.
Yeah.
So, having murdered this creature, our hut, it's still, I know where it is. I remember correctly, it's relatively stealth from the outside, right?
It's hard to see from outside. It's disguised. She disguised it as a bush, so it's hard to see from outside.
Good.
Victor's standing outside of it, though, and just finished kind of laughing and yelling.
Alex is gonna throw the body up heft it up onto his shoulder and head back towards the hut.
Okay, very good. You hear a sudden commotion from the monastery. The bats start squeaking like mad, and there is a snark. POTUS hears it better than the rest of you because he's a bit closer to it. But there is a snarling and a howling that suddenly goes on from the various people that are at the monastery. You cannot see what's gone on, but there is a flurry and some kind of upset that is going on up at the Abbey. And Sylvia, what are you doing?
Seeing Victor walk outside, she's going to stop counter charm and kind of wonder if it's safe for him to even do that. She'll probably walk towards the edge of the tiny hut and kind of give him a look, just like, are you of the right mind and body, or am I supposed to get really worried?
You hear a reverberating voice that goes up from the Abbey. It seems to reverberate off the hills and the forest, and it is like a call. And for one moment, Victor even shudders at the call. There's something weirdly demanding about it, and it doesn't make him really have to roll anything, but just for one moment he has a feeling like cold washed over him, almost like he felt with Escher as Escher approached. There's just the slightest hint of it, but nothing to the degree that Escher held over him. But you do hear this distant call on the wind that sounds very disturbing. What is Vlad going to do?
Vlad is going to go over to Escher's corpse. It's generally right here, right?
Yeah,
right on
it's
the edge
pretty
of my
close to
family.
Alexander, yes.
He's going to go over to the corpse and, in classic D&D style, check it for loot.
Good.
No, he's sticking. You said it was a solid body, not ash.
Yes.
Then he's sticking a stake in the heart first,
You,
and then searching for loot.
as you stick the stake in the body, you hear a last moan out of the body in a way that makes you realize that it was probably a wise thing to do.
Can't believe I didn't think to do that.
It is time to return to death.
And
Sleep. And then I search for loot. Actually, I might as well just take the entire body with us.
Alex is already doing that.
Okay. I thought you were just pulling teeth. Being a
I pulled the teeth and decided to carry the body.
Okay.
I figured I definitely want at least one tooth from this.
You do realize
okay,
the body won't be able to cross the wall, right?
Vlad will drop daylight.
All right. And
That's not my turn.
did you did loot him?
Well, I'm waiting for loot until we get back and regroup.
Very good. All right, so we are up to Victor. Now that you are somewhat free, Victor, what are you going to do?
All right.
I'm gonna go to
So-
Disneyland.
So Victor stares up at the hill as he feels that call, and he says, "You can give up on that right now, Strahd. I am my own man now." Then he turns around and is currently without his hood since it was dropped in the hut during the struggle, and he smiles brightly to Sylvia, fangs and all, and he says, "Thank you, Sylvia. I could not have done this without you.
I'm just gonna. Sorry, as you're smiling, I'm just gonna hide the hand behind her back and just like, please don't smile.
He kind of gets a little chuckle at that, and he says, "Could you hand me my hood? I feel a bit naked without it."
Hesitates,
Yep,
Gets
I'm
the hood.
moving a screen here, so
chucks
that's
it
why
through the
there's
chucks it through the
pause.
barrier, but she's still gonna stay inside. She's like, like I'm not sure about any of this right now. I'm just gonna see.
He's got kind of an understanding expression and goes ahead and pulls on the hood, looking like himself again. So that's all for now. He says, we should regroup. It seems that the daylight has faded. He looks over in the direction where the fight took place, kind of faintly worried, wondering if the light going out is a bad sign.
We
And
really need to get some sort of long-range communication device.
is Vlad still on his horse?
Yes.
All right, so Victor would slightly see this glowing summoned horse that Vlad rides through the trees. So you'd have some idea that if the horse is there, probably Vlad is still alive. So he gives you some kind of reassurance of the group at least partly being okay. Dirok, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna keep running. I'd probably be about, yeah. Pretty sure I'd probably make it all the way to the camp, and I see Victor outside smiling and whatnot, and I'm yelling, "Where is Sylvia?"
She is in the hut. Thierok, thank you for your help. You have always been a true friend.
My God, he's turned Cajun.
The power of friendship compels you.
You're welcome. And I'm gonna go ahead and move in towards the hut to check in on Sylvia, make sure everything's all kosher.
As all of you are starting to gather and move towards the group together, several things begin to happen at once, and astoundingly, they all involve light. First thing that you
I don't
see,
like the sound of that at all.
the first thing that you see is the shape of what you would swear was an angel rising above the walls of the monastery. It is glowing, and there are definitely, not illusionary, but definitely wings spread out from the being, and it is radiating a glow, an almost celestial glow that is coming from this animal, or this being. At the same time, from the woods to the northeast, you see another glowing creature approaching. From the distance, at this far that you are, you cannot tell what the creature is, but something that is glowing is moving rapidly towards the monastery. Apotus, what are you doing?
Maybe the abbot was not as crazy as he looked.
I'm gonna go with the abbot being maybe more powerful than we estimated.
So you guys. And then he takes his hand and he slaps himself and uses his last 5 lay on hands for himself because he's a greedy bastard.
If Dragonborns sweat,
Probably not.
Extreme. Probably going to go
They
through extreme molding.
Alexander, you continue to move towards the group?
Yes, of course I do. Can I see this visage in the air?
You can see this angelic being quite easily because it's close enough to you. You can see the shape and the wings a bit, though it's indistinct who it is or what it is exactly. You can clearly see that it, from the distance you're looking at it, it looks like an angelic being, and the glow in the distance above the woods in the northeast, that is less distinct. It appears to be a creature, but it is simply, mostly at this point, it is just a glow, a kind of eerie glow, a purplish glow that is coming towards the monastery.
Why didn't try to make the abbot drunk?
Say that
Wait,
again.
isn't there a story of that working?
Say that. Okay.
Sorry, I was eating something. blotted in and try and get the abbot drunk. Which was our very first plan when we got here. Or my very first plan.
Yeah, okay. Your very first plan, definitely. I don't remember anything about this.
Yeah, when we first came in here, we weren't sure about him, and I was like, okay, so I have a great plan. Let's get a little meet and greet, come in here as nice guys, and then maybe over dinner and a whole lot of wine, ambush him if we think he's genuinely dangerous.
I don't remember any of this.
I slightly remember.
Literally none of it.
I only
None of
remember
us
the
was
part
impressed.
about him wanting to start out getting drunk. That's really the only thing I remember.
For a month.
That's all anyone ever remembers about Alex. Him when trying to get drunk.
Well, you're
Well,
constantly going
That
after
that and
business.
changelings.
Yeah, I swear I do smarter things than that, but
Yeah.
these are the only things that stick.
Yeah, well,
Right.
the things that stand out are the amusing moments. But anyway, yeah, Alex is the comedy relief that takes you by surprise. He seems to be a comedy relief, but he's not a Falstaff in the final examination. He really can hold off 40 men, unlike Falstaff.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. You have done so before.
Yes.
Well, not 40.
Well,
You've sold off like 4.
I'm referring to a passage in Henry IV, very famous passage.
Oh!
When I was a student in college, I was reading Shakespeare, and I read this passage and didn't understand it, and read the subnotes to find out what it meant. The word
Their
meant.
points being broken.
Yes, and I'm sitting in the middle of a very quiet library, very studious library, with a librarian who is like the stereotypical, you will be quiet in my library. And I suddenly realized what the joke is on this thing, and I howled out loud, and then went, as I realized I was howling out loud in this quiet thing, and I had to leave the library because I disturbed all these people reading all their books. But the joke was Falstaff is relating this episode with he and Henry having been beset by a single bandit. And as he's telling this story, each time he goes around and repeats, he's drinking and he's getting more drunk, the number of bandits keeps multiplying until finally they are beset by 40 bandits. And he is waving his arms and telling this story, and he says, I pulled out my sword, and they had their pikes pointed at me, and I swung about, and their points being broken. And a bystander listening to Falstaff says, their pants fell down. And the joke is that the Old English word for the laces that bound up a man's pants were the points. And so supposedly he broke all their pant strings and all the pants fell down. And of course the whole audience roared at them making fun of Falstaff and his magnifying battle that he was doing. But Alex is not like that. Alex seems to be a Falstaff, and everybody laughs. Then along comes the battle, and suddenly he's doing a lot of damage to people. So don't ever sell him short.
Poke my stuff at them. Yeah. So, anyway, had a great plan. It's all good. Didn't happen. Happened a different way. We still managed not to all die, and that was the end goal. Let's keep that up. I'm gonna go run for safety.
So,
The night is still young.
what did I miss?
Falstaff breaking points.
No. Epo said that. I didn't get to use my action, okay?
As I will consider the group of you regrouped at the hut, wherever you are on the map, you can move yourself near the hut at the time, and you hear what was a voice that sounds very similar to the one that issued the scream, and it is, you would guess that is probably Strahd's voice, although it sounds a bit different than the man you've heard a couple of times in the past at the church and various places that you've heard him. You've twice heard him at a church. Once at the church in Barovia Village, when he accosted you with the wolves as you came out. And twice, the second time was at St. Andrew's Church in Vallaki, when he was standing on the roof of the church and was screaming epithets at you when he was trying to destroy the priest and so forth that had the relics. The voice is somewhat reminiscent of that voice, but sounds very slightly different. And he screams out, "I should have killed you decades ago!" And there is a laugh from a female.
Oh, man.
Alex cracks his back. I guess tonight's not done.
But a queen as beautiful and terrible as the dawn.
We have to save her. We have to save
No, we
her.
why do
Save
we
who?
save her?
The Vistani girl.
He's not talking to the Vistani girl.
Yep.
Talking to the zombie Vistani girl.
Who? The Strahd is talking to the Vistani girl.
Yeah.
He's talking to the
No.
bishop.
You know what?
He
Okay,
just
so
said that I should have killed you decades ago.
Okay,
She's not
so-
going to be alive decades ago.
okay, so you're telling me that I should have basically just not run down a mountain.
You shouldn't
No,
have gone
it-
up the mountain in the first place. Not
You're
alone
not
in the
here.
world.
You can't talk to me.
None of us are
was,
with you.
was that
We're all gonna talk to you.
I'm right next to you.
was
Oh,
that
yeah,
in
I'm
character?
gone.
I was kind of wondering.
Was that in character?
No. Well, so no. It's basically just. Are we going to go do that?
So who is he fighting?
Let's wait a second for Alex and Vlad to make it over here. So we
Yes.
don't,
If we're going to
blow up by
go, we're going to.
ourselves.
Yeah. If we're going to go, we're going to go all together now.
All together now.
We're not going out there at all. We are not prepared for this.
We don't even know who's fighting and what's going to end up killing us in the process. This is,
I will say I've already done some preliminary scouting. There are a shit ton of wolves.
You know, you did some fine scouting. There
I
was something
did.
down here you missed.
There's just blood all over the place on it.
You know, in your scouting, there was something here you totally missed.
Oh, what did I
It
miss?
just, stuff happened. Things had to die, and could have probably used your help.
Seems like everybody had everything under control.
Yeah.
You're all
Barely.
You're also
Sylvia
standing,
almost
right?
died.
Control is the key
yeah.
word.
But she didn't, did she?
No thanks to you.
Because at least some people actually followed my lead and stayed in the hut.
I wanted to bet.
Okay.
You wanted a bed.
Vanity.
I wanted to bet.
Vlad, what are you
I go up to
doing?
punch him.
Ooh.
It is not your turn.
Yeah, I'm having to leave you in turn order because I have to know in what sequence all this happens. But you guys can do some fairly free RP at this point. It's just that I have to kind of keep you in turn order. Vlad, in the middle of all this impending fight, what are you doing?
Vlad is looks back at the Abbey, and then down at Alex, and says, "We need to get to the others quickly. Here," and shoves his hand down to help Alex up onto the horse.
Can that horse handle 2 more bodies? Because
I
I
mean,
mean, Vampire is pretty light. I'm honestly quite surprised at that, but
a vampire body can't be very heavy.
No, it's Escher would be lighter than a normal man. He was very gaunt.
all right. So Alex throws the body up and hops up himself.
Yeah, this will be maxed. The horse will be maxed out, and I'm going to say that he moves at half his speed with this much on. With 2.5 men on him, I'm going to say he moves at half speed.
2.5 men.
Yes.
The kind of messed up sitcom.
Only some of the
It might
stars.
as
Well, I mean, they
I'm
made a
moving
movie
as
about
fast
it.
as a regular person.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh God.
Okay.
Literally is. Oh, this is
Victor,
great.
in all
on.
this anger and angst going on, and glowing people on the hill and glowing creatures on the hill, what are you doing?
Victor's just feeling. Victor is in the best mood that anyone has ever seen him, including himself, as far as recent memory goes. He looks at Apotus and says, "Oh, you are pretty beaten. Let me help." And he will go ahead and use Cure Wounds for once.
Woo! Now, if I get hit by Deerock, it's all going to go away in one go.
It's advanced compensation.
You're at like a strength 5, right?
Who?
You strength plus 5 or something.
+7.
There is more snarling going on inside the monastery, and again you hear the woman's laughter, and things just seem to be, all kinds of things, hell seems to be breaking out, and the bats swirl at the roof of the Abbey. You can see them swirling around and swirling down. Dirok, what are you doing in this? I know you were upset.
No, I'm coming down. I'm gonna think things through.
Oh,
Ponder.
please.
No, I'm not. I'm walking up to Apotus and I'm slugging him right in the face.
Yeah, please. Please.
Oh, God.
Don't play, bro.
Give me an
Beat it-
attack
beat it-
roll and then a
beat a
1d4 for your
19.
attack.
My attack roll
Just give
is
it
what,
a-
1d20?
Yeah, just give your 1d20 roll plus, you'd have proficiency, so it'd be plus your proficiency. But
Just do a
Plus
normal
proficiency,
weapon roll.
so
just do
so
a
1d20
weapon, just do
plus.
a weapon roll, and we'll just use the d20 portion of it.
I'm proficient in assault.
All right, 18.
Clang!
You hit his helmet, and do not hit him.
I forgot to rage before I hit my. No, that doesn't do anything with attack roll anyway. I think.
Do you feel better?
Not until you hit the ground, and I'm gonna go and swing at him again because I have extra attack.
Oh! Oh, yeah.
Oh boy! Okay, so now give me two
Let it
1d4.
So
Two
it-
1d4s.
I two 1d4s, okay,
Two d4s.
2d4s.
No, two 1d4s.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you mean I can't have that 20?
Give me a 2d4 because you critted him, and so you get two
Can't you be 1d8?
d4s. You did 4 damage. No, if he's hitting him with his fist.
So yeah, I hit him. I hear him talk back, and it just gets me even more angrier, and I swing with even more force.
I just fixed that.
All right, the being that is floating above the church, there is like a beam of light that comes out and strikes down towards the madhouse, the hospital wing of the building. There is a beam of light that strikes that way. You don't know what it's aimed at or what is going
The
on.
apocalypse is happening, and we're just over here slapping each other.
But something
I mean-
has gone on there. So we are up to Apotus. What is he doing?
I'll let that go this time. Right now, we're busy. But he really wants to hit it back.
Here, I'll make it easier for you. You go ahead and let that go. I'm gonna swing my hand back again.
Oh, you asshole. I'll give it my attack.
Yes.
Oh my god. Alright.
Then the party killed themselves.
But if you hit me, I'm taking my second attack. Just so you know.
I'm just waiting to see how many people I have left at the end.
Guys, some unseen force is making us do all this stuff. You should stop. Cough.
Okay, so is a
Guys,
attacking
no,
him?
stop. No, I'm letting Duroc take another attack from one of my attacks.
Okay, so he doesn't.
Oh, you're actually.
Yeah, you can take the attack. No.
He doesn't
Okay.
have it until his turn. He's
No,
taking
he-
his turn.
Just saying, screw it, swing again.
I'm letting him punch me again.
Okay, so it's not something that's happening right now. That's what you did. All right, Alexander, what are you doing in this melee?
I'm still on the back of a horse. Click clop, click
Look
clop,
at
click
my
clop, click clop.
horse.
This horse is pretty amazing.
Does it taste like raisins?
I haven't tasted it yet. Wait till later for that. So he's also going to mention, oh, by the by, look what I got, and show the busted fang. You know, we make a pretty good tea. Sometimes I forget that.
I agree. Though, usually you're better suited to enemies against the ground. When they start flying over you, you can't do much.
Yeah, I'm not particularly good up in the air. You know, when I started this, I thought I was going to be fighting some lizard men, get home, maybe start a farm. That's like the tradition in in my family. Just go out, fight some stuff, get some seed money, start a farm.
Forgot that I needed to do a con save for my divine favor.
And, okay, so, very good. And now you continue to hear Strahd, or whoever it is that sounds similar to Strahd, shouting commands, and the light moves considerably closer, and you begin to make out the shape of a flying horse with a flaming mane in the glowing light that is approaching.
Oh boy. Guys, I don't think we really should be doing this right now. There's a time and place to kill each other, and this is not it.
And it is Sylvia's turn. Is she doing anything besides admonishing them?
I'm thinking. Because I wasn't really expecting it to go far, but apparently it did. Now,
Are we ever expecting any of this? I mean,
no, I should expect nothing from you people. Absolutely nothing.
I'm back.
5, 4.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna sit here and go,
Two.
guys.
And maybe punching each other is not a good idea.
Thing. And I'm just gonna keep trying to
Trying to pry them
actually
apart.
persuade both. No, I'm not even gonna get in the middle of it. I'm just going to keep trying to persuade them to stop.
Roll persuasion. And both Dirok and Epotus roll against her.
What's
your
the save?
Insight.
Insight.
Both of you are a bit overwhelmed by the feminine logic at this moment.
Curse your fiendish logic.
Like I said, we'll just put a pin in this.
Okay, Vlad, as the tempers begin to simmer just a bit, what are you doing?
That's about the time that Vlad rides up on his horse. And he unceremoniously dumps the body of Escher in front of Victor. I believe you are looking for these.
Seriously, what is it with this group and corpses? What is it with you people?
We need a corpse.
So one
wagon.
makes sense.
Victor is
We tend-
slightly startled, but
we tend to
says,
generate a lot of corpses. It is the nature of the job.
Actually, I'll just react on my turn.
And it is Victor's turn.
Alright, so Victor is kind of startled for a moment, but then he says, there you are, sire. And he is going to step forward and spit on the corpse. He says, you look exactly like you did on that day 30 years ago. It is a pity that I could not talk to you while you were alive, so I must merely berate what is left of you.
Oh, you can talk to him while he is dead.
Okay.
Re-dead. Just not right now.
Do we really have the time for this?
No.
Do we really?
Speaking of which,
I have waited 30 years. Give me 30 seconds.
I don't
speaking
think
of
we
which,
even have the 30 seconds. Okay.
Vlad points
30
up to the
seconds.
Abbey and says, I believe that our dear friend the Abbot and Lord Fangface have gotten into a struggle. It seems our Stanley friend is in the middle of it.
Did she actually do the thing that she?
She did. She made her own choice.
She did exactly what she said she was going to do.
Uh,
Are you wanting to go to her rescue?
I am.
Victor continues monologuing at the body.
And Derek, as you got a little bit calmed by Sylvia, what are you doing?
I back off from Apodus, and I proclaim loudly so that everyone can hear me. Your pride and arrogance is going to get everyone killed. And then I walk back into the hut.
Wham!
Slams the door behind him. There's no
No,
door.
No,
I slam the bush.
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure if you leave the hut, you can't go back into the hut.
no,
You can.
Nope, it's only
it's
Sylvia.
only me.
Yeah.
I'm going.
So you.
Yeah, I'm just walking right into an actual bush.
Okay,
Alright.
so that's a thing.
The flying winged being moves again towards the madhouse area, and again you see a glowing weapon strike down towards the building like it did before.
Our Vasili friends will not make it out of this alive.
Do you really think that if we go up there, we would? The abbot is completely delusional. I was up there, and not just dealing with Strahd and the abbot. We'd also have to deal with any of his mongrel folk that are helping him, and about, 30 or so wolves.
The wolves are not a problem.
POTUS just stares at it.
However, I don't feel at my current level of power that I could take on both the abbot and Fangface at the same time.
No shit. Let's put it this way. This, unless we're committing, this isn't happening now.
Crazy
And
question. Who can
yeah.
turn into something fast and flying? Who can?
Who could do
I
that?
wonder who could do that.
Oh,
I mean-
Why are you guys looking at me? I can't. I'm an orc.
We could get a catapult.
Throw Alex.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
That'll work real well.
Yeah, if only we had Mink, or not Mink, Monarch, I could throw him.
Right. Yep.
The mighty Monarch.
Not the beard!
Oh God.
Yes. You may have your wish
I mean-
sooner than you think.
That's not ominous at all.
Pros and cons. Saving her would be a boon, and she would still owe us. Cons of not saving her might piss off whatever connections or contacts we can make with other
Rickman.
people.
If we're going, I need a little mending because Duroc can't control his temper.
I think the
You know,
prime reason
then-
you need mending is because you went up to the Abbey on your own. He says as he hands
Kinda
upon us a handful
a-
of good berries.
And as Apoda says what he says, you guys can hear cracking knuckles.
Yeah. And how many good berries did you hand him, and how many points of healing does it give him?
I have 10 good berries. Each one does 4 points. I'll hand you 6.
Sweet.
So 24 points of healing.
Yeah, just have a snack.
So it'd be 20. It'd be so.
Snacks.
So you hand me 6. Each one is 4.
Yes.
Yes.
6 times 4.
Yeah, Epotus is like, hell yeah, let's go do this.
And then he walks up to Sylvia. Oh, well, can I? Is it my turn yet?
She's still in the hall,
but
but-
I'm still
Technically,
there.
it's not. I'm being rather loose, although I'm trying to do this. You, when the abbot fired this weapon thing that he had, you did hear an angry yell come up from the Abbey, but you don't know what's going on. Something else has occurred, and I need to do something here.
Can we tell if that angry yell is male or female?
Female.
Okay.
We're going to go. We should go now.
And
And
the horse flies to and disappears down behind the walls of the Abbey. But you can see like a glowing area. The whole open courtyard area of the Abbey is glowing almost as if there was a bright light in the courtyard area.
We can't win.
This was
No.
your plan, by the way. You're the one that wanted to go up, and now you're arguing not to.
We have a map.
Are we going or not?
Listen, Mike wants to go up. Alright? Vlad does not.
I thought.
Well, see, here's the
Brad-
thing.
That's what
Epotus is perfectly willing to go back up there, but he knows that he needs somebody to go up with him.
Oh, is this somebody, the one that just decked you?
Theoretically.
I mean, you have less health than me, so you'd be a better person to bring.
I may have less. Realistically, do I have less health than you with rage?
No. I have slightly higher armor, and you've got twice as much health as you normally do. So the real
Whatever
question
happened
then
to
is,
that magic sword
Okay.
that we had to take care of this guy with?
Sylvia still has it in her bag,
And Vlad
somebody
can
should
go ahead and hand
probably
the
get
berries
that
to
in a
Sylvia.
tune
And
to it on the way out.
and we still don't know how to activate it.
yeah,
Vlad
there's
can,
that.
Vlad can now hand the berries to Sylvia if he wants. How many is he giving her?
What?
How many
Berries
berries
for
are...
Sylvia.
I can't. I walk up to the dome and like put my hand on it. I can't see through it. I can't see
Bonk.
Sylvia. I just know they're in there.
This is what you get. Stop
voice
sleeping in a
comes out.
statue.
I'm not ever coming out. I'm going to stay in here forever.
All right, Victor, you've been quiet.
Yeah. well,
Actually, he's been like monologuing to the corpse this whole time.
Speaking of the corpse,
Well, quiet in terms of group talk.
yeah.
We kind of left you to your own device. We kind of see that this is a little crazy pants.
Victor, what are your thoughts? Should we go save the Vistani woman, or should we keep our nose out of a potentially fatal situation?
I couldn't give two shits about the Vistani, to be honest. What I am more concerned about is the corpse bride up there. If Strahd were to take it, it might be best for everyone.
And what if he doesn't, and he just gets angry and decides to take his wrath out on the town?
Then we will be able to catch him easily enough, won't we?
if I were at my full power, I would say yes. As it is, I've expended most of my resources.
Well, I'm ready to go. I'm just
Dirok, if you come out here, I can give you some health back.
Dirk doesn't answer.
Okay.
All right. The abbot flies, or the celestial being-looking creature flies over above the madhouse itself and is like suspended in air above it. He does not fire a weapon this time. Something is different. He doesn't actually do it. And Apotus, any actions you're taking as this
He's
develops?
loading up the Death Star.
Basically, it doesn't look like we're wholeheartedly in for saving the one crazy chick.
Okay.
Epotus moves in position as if he's ready to charge back up the hill, and it just keeps himself at ready.
Alexander, are you doing any moves other than just staying with the group?
Alex is going to bring up in character. Don't we have a magical MacGuffin to fight this guy with? Like,
It requires attunement.
To be fair, we don't need to destroy him now. We can just get the Vistani woman and utilize her connections to put ourselves at an advantage later.
what I'm seeing is we have an ally in trouble and a chance to why did we all suddenly become cowards? Like, I'm not supposed to be the one shouting, "Hey, everyone, let's go kill everything."
Does Alexander have a horse?
Alexander does not have a horse.
Alexander, hop on. Alexander has. Alexander has like basically a pike, right? So
Yep.
here, hop on. We'll just be a mobile attack platform.
Alexander has a horse, but he's stabled somewhere in the village, right?
No.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever
we all
buying
have.
them.
No, we have horses. They're
Alex does not have a horse.
He walked.
Really?
I didn't want to blow the money on it. I very
yeah.
specifically said I didn't feel like I'm not going to blow the money on that.
and we didn't buy these horses. They were gifted to us. I thought.
No, you bought these.
Yeah, no, we bought the horses.
Because you didn't want to be reliant on gift horses that sometimes get taken away, as one did before.
And something about mouths.
With whose money? Because I don't remember buying a horse.
And that was back in, you got a big discount on it or something of the sort. We did this well back in the village in Valaki.
Walking.
We got the heroes discount.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I'll
Alex is
look at
going
it
is going to hop onto the horse, spear ready, and say, we're either going to go in there, charge to our deaths, or we're going to sit here and regret it for the rest of our lives.
Oh god.
Do you want to live forever?
And
We can be heroes!
Oh my god.
Regarding the horses, if you'll remember, you had them all lined up outside the monastery.
Oh yeah, I remembered that. I remembered that week that where did these horses come from? But I didn't say anything because I didn't want to, look like
you
a
had
fool.
gotten those. That's why you traveled rather rapidly from Valaki to the monasteries, because you were on horseback and
So-
he was on his wagon.
So here's what's gonna happen. The 3 Dawn Watch members are gonna go up, die, and then the 3 smart people are gonna survive, and then we'll introduce our new characters next week, and we just won't be the Dawn Watch anymore, and then we'll have to actually, annoy glow sticks and be like, hey, so by the way.
So everybody that's watching live, do any of the people watching live have an opinion about whether they should go rescue her or not?
Victor will go ahead and say, I am ready and willing to kill Strahd, which is just that I do not care about the Vistani in particular.
All right, Vlad, Alex, we're going to go in. We're going to get the woman, and we're going to leave.
We told her
Rescue
to.
Rangers, they said. Rescue Rangers.
Our objective is not Strahd. Our objective is not the abbot. It's not anything. We're going to get the Vistani woman, and then we're going to haul ass in a different direction.
I definitely don't like that idea.
We
Let's
told her
do
to. We told her to hide or to watch. We told her not to act. This is her fate, and you are all going to march to your deaths. I say this, laying down in my my little sleeping bag or whatever. I'm gonna have no part in this.
I march to death all the time, Savior.
It is the life of a mercenary.
See, what
Let's go.
what I should have done is had a bunch of children start crying from the monastery, and then
Yeah, see that
all the mongrel folk.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be waiting for this conversation to end. I'd be already up there.
Dirok, make a perception check.
Oh, wait.
To
Oh,
the
shit.
weeping children.
There are children
But
up there.
but I do like the mongrel folk.
There are children up there.
Well, I don't care about them. They're weird children.
You just said you like the
Well said.
Whoa.
All right, okay, so there's deep-seated racism in there, and I don't appreciate it.
Victor, I mean, dear.
I ain't saying that I'm mongrel focused. I just walk across the street when I see one walking towards me.
Oh my god!
There's a line, and you just cartwheel over it. I don't appreciate it.
Well, no, I walked across the street over it.
All right, fine. You know what? I'll go save these kids, and then I'll be the hero. Screw you, green guy.
Oh my goodness!
All right,
Oh my
let's
god.
do this. And Epotus charges up the hill.
Vlad is
Okay.
right behind
I'm just going to look at Dirok and Victor and go, okay, so the Dawn Watch splits the party the first time. They really get in trouble.
Go
We
let
stay
them
relative-
die.
We
They deserve
stay
it.
relatively safe. We regroup. They split the party again.
Our next week's intro video will be the video from
Like half the
YouTube
size.
about "Don't you know you never split the party."
Listen,
Yeah.
we are going to die glorious deaths, alright?
Victor,
We're going to
Victor
die
kinda
as heroes
scratches-
and not live long enough to become the villain.
So
Okay, that's really funny in my context.
Exactly.
oh my god.
Oh, that makes it even better.
Victor reaches up in his hood and scratches his head and he says, "I owe my current state of being to the two of you. If you are staying, then so shall
We're already
I."
gone.
Oh no, he
But
said
she's
No,
talking
he's
to us.
talking to us. He's talking to
no.
like the same
No,
people.
literally, Victor has no reason to not be like, okay, bye, Epotus.
Well, I mean, we did just save him from his evil vampire sire. Just put that out there.
Well, yeah, but
Yes.
Dirok wrestled me to the ground, and Sylvia kept me in the right mind, and
Oh, yeah.
had her blood drank.
To
Yeah,
stop
and
him in the
when
first
I
place,
requested
so-
help, you decided to run away. I remember that. That's why I don't
Yeah,
like you
I
anymore.
ran away
either.
and solved the fucking problem. Excuse my cursing.
All right, you know what? Let's just go solve this problem.
Okay, back into
Yes,
turn
we'll
order
solve the
here.
problem of your lives.
Okay, back into turn order now.
You're kind of being a jerk for a chaotic good person, Dirok. I don't like it.
No.
You see something significant that is happening. The horse rises again from the grounds of the monastery, and you can clearly see a man on its back, and I'm going to put him over closer to you in the view of things so that you have a kind of an idea of what is going on. As this is happening, the swarm of bats disappears towards the east, making almost a beeline for something. And you see the horse rising over the monastery, and in the glowing of this supernatural horse, whatever it is that can fly, you notice that not only is there a man on his back, as you would expect, there is also a very small person in a blue suit who is draped over the rear of the horse.
Oh no, we waited too long.
We
The
see-
plot happened without us.
Do we all see this?
No, I think it's
Give
just
me
the
a-
Dawn Watch kiddos.
Give me a perception roll, and I will say those who are at the tent area have disadvantage. The rest of you have a normal roll.
Shine forth and
Come
show
on.
me what I can
Come
do.
on, double 20s. Ugh.
Perception?
I'm too busy.
Yeah, perception.
Nope.
Dirok sees it. Vlad sees it.
I think
Sylvia
I know
does
what
not.
it is.
Yeah.
And
Really?
Jason, you are with Hippotas,
Oh,
right?
I missed that line. Yes, I am.
Okay.
What is the range of a crossbow?
Not that far.
Not that far.
Not far enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not.
Yeah, that's, and where he is, I just put him there so you could kind of see what's going. He is actually over the monastery, so he's probably another 40 feet to the east. But I just put him there so that you could clearly see what is going on at the location, so you have some idea of what is happening. But he rises straight up over the monastery with this small individual on the back of the horse. It is the small individual is yes, Dirok. You have a pretty good idea that's what you see. Let's see, and who else? And Vlad would also probably be right if he guessed who the individual was on the back of the horse. Yeah, we're in turn order. We're just, I'm going through what Strahd's doing right now. It's his turn. So he's over the monastery and he rises up with this thing, and there is a lot of commotion going on. You can hear various noises. A bell starts to toll at the monastery, and Strahd rises and begins to fly away eastward, following the bats. It is Sylvia's turn.
Not happy about hearing the bell. I'm still trying to figure out what to do. Like, she wants to go, but at the same time, she thinks it's incredibly risky and dumb to go.
Actually, hold up. Crossbow has range at disadvantage. 320 range for a disadvantage shot.
You want to take that shot?
20s. Double 20s. Double 20s.
Yeah, he'd be able to.
Double 20s.
I've now got Strahd about where he would actually be, so yeah, he's actually got range if it's 320.
Double
Right.
20s.
There
double
goes.
20s. Aw.
Pulls out his crossbow and fires. It whizzes.
He accidentally
into the
shoots a
air.
POTUS.
It makes it up to about the wall of the Abbey and goes pleek and plops into the dirt.
Okay, so I know this is not happening, but what would happen if I had successfully landed a trip attack on that?
A trip attack with a crossbow?
Trip attack. It's one of. I'll put it up. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it does not have to be melee or ranged.
Okay.
I feel like a DC 14 save would have been pitiful for him to see
And
that.
there are certain considerations with the particular being that you are dealing with that is different than a normal being. So yeah, it would have been a very
So he would be
different
knocked he would be knocked flat and floating, but the flaming horse would keep going.
I mean, could I have potentially knocked him off? Is it possible?
Then he'd just start swimming back towards the horse.
very distantly possible, but not at all likely. It'd be like a 90% chance it probably wouldn't.
Like the same possibility that you take a step and then you fall through a floor, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just thought it would be amusing. Moving on.
Okay,
The
did
shot
Sil-
still missed.
Did Sylvia actually do anything?
No.
Vlad, what are you doing? You just riding along with them?
I'm riding along with them.
Oh, I
Dude,
I
I
meant
got to
that
do nothing.
she
No,
actually did get to do nothing. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, no, I did absolutely nothing because the second I was trying to figure out what I was about to do, Alex was like, "Oh wait, let me take a shot anyways."
Okay.
So
Anyway,
that happened.
Okay, so Sylvia, what are you doing? Are you stepping out of the hut yet, or what's the situation?
I'm gonna look at Eric and go like, look, they may have made a fool's error choice about that, but it's probably going to blow our cover. I don't know if they're going to sit and wait for us for when this for when this shield falls. We might want to just get ready to leave and sneak out of town.
Welcome, 2 campaigns, 1 evening.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I actually don't hear her because my vision is focused on who Strahd is holding.
And
Derek?
and Victor?
Yeah, Victor is just chilling here.
Derek?
I'm going to immediately dash out. Well, not dash. I'm going to go. I'm basically right behind them at 40 feet. Would I be within yelling range? Would Strahd be able to hear me from all the way over here?
Give me a strength roll to see how strong your voice is. You'd have.
Wait, what did I miss? What changed his mind that fast?
Yeah, you go.
Chaotic, man.
Yeah, give me a strength to see how powerful your yell is.
Oh no!
No,
my run took me out.
Yeah, and it's just so far away that without additional abilities to project, it's very difficult to reach that.
But presumably
far.
we're right next to him, so we're just about ready to go, and all of a sudden he runs out and starts screaming.
I run up. I'm gonna take a dash action, and I'm yelling, "Get Strahd! He has the halfling!"
We can't do anything about that.
Epotus.
I
kicks his heels and says, "Come on, Alex."
Yep, here, hold on. And then, I'm dashing an additional 40 feet, so right there.
So Victor gets up after hearing that. Oh, shit.
Is my okay, here's the big question. Traversing, I don't remember what we had. Traversing this way, because this way is pretty straightforward, but this way
400 feet up the hill to go that way.
Yeah, no, let's...
Difficult terrain over 400 feet. In spite of what you measure, it is upward. It's a cliff, basically.
Yeah. So, let's see, so that's...
You can run normally up to the spear points, and from then on you have to consider it's 400 feet of difficult terrain. So you're only moving half distance with each movement.
Yeah, so I think it would take me, so let's see, so that's 60...
Vlad was able to make it because he went
so-
up the hill at a point that was much closer to the valley floor.
Yeah, so a dash would probably get me to there, and then I'd have to use another dash to get up 1 level.
Yeah. So, but you can do it. It's just that it will be very difficult terrain because you are going up a very steep incline. With a normal horse, I probably would even curtail it further because they would slip and slide terribly. But I'm going to allow you guys normal difficult terrain because you're both riding summoned steeds. So it would be a little bit different situation. They would have a little bit more ability and such things. All right.
Dirog, either climb or get on Vlad's horse.
I'm climbing. I probably move as fast as a horse to begin with.
My horse moves 60.
What about Vlad's?
They would both move
All
60. All horses move 60.
Oh, okay. I might actually have another idea. I just have to wait for my next turn.
The glowing being moves briefly over the madhouse area, seems to circle around and heads back towards the courtyard immediately after. Alexander, what are you doing? Just riding along with him?
I am somewhat awkwardly trying to reload this crossbow properly. Yes, I am riding along on the back of POTUS's horse, and if I have range, I'm gonna try and take another shot.
Oh, please. Please let him have Ray.
Double 20s. Double 20s.
Go ahead. For the
Double
fun
20s,
of,
no whammies.
For the fun of it, go ahead.
Oh.
19 is.
19 and 21 are both pretty high.
They're still pretty high.
Try to hit the horse and trip the horse.
Okay.
Bigger target.
Yeah, this burial
I
die
was
to
act-
the attack's damage roll, and if the target is large or smaller, it must make a strength saving throw. Now, are you aiming specifically at Strahd or at the horse?
Well, yeah, actually, come to think of it, I'd probably be. Is the horse large or smaller? The horse should be large,
The
correct?
horse is large.
Yeah, I always forget because there was a version that had horses and. Sorry. Yeah, I'd be aiming at actually the horse. Come to think of it, because I know if I can stop the horse, it might throw Strahd.
Okay, so the
So,
horse
yeah, I'm gonna
then
be
will have
taking a
to.
shot at the horse.
Okay, so the horse will have to do a strength save, and I'm going to say because of his nature and what he has, he is. I will tell you that he is not, rather obviously, but he is not a normal horse. That part you can guess, but there is more to it than that. So I will say that he would have advantage on his save
Snake eyes. Snake eyes.
because of it.
Their save. It's his save.
17.
Dang it.
Yeah, 17's gonna miss a 14, so it still takes 6 plus 8 damage. Small bolt sticking out of its flank.
It takes 7 damage.
That sounds right. Depends on how you math that, but okay.
It takes half the damage.
Yeah, I figured as much. Anyway, the point being that, yeah. Alex Fire is like, hey, I got meat!
Alright, and with that, the horse is still glowing, still following these bats that are moving eastward, and the horse seems to wink out of existence along with everything on its back.
Dang it.
And it is Sylvia's turn. Things are beginning to quiet. There is not as much going on. The abbot seems to be moving back towards the courtyard. Various things are going on, but there's quiet. The bells have stopped ringing, etc.
Now, I would have heard what Duroc had yelled, correct?
Yes. Yeah, he yelled it loud enough for all of your group to hear it. It just didn't reach all the way up the cliff to the monastery way up in the air.
I'm just going to depressingly step out of the tiny hut and let the spell end.
Alright, the tiny hut goes away. And let me take that off the map. And all of you are now out in the clouds, which are parting very slightly, a little bit of half moon showing through in spots through the clouds as quiet begins to settle over the village once more. You notice in some of the houses doors open and people are starting to peek out into the moonlight, wondering what has gone on. There's curiosity starting to develop. At this point, I'm going to declare that you are out of combat. Now you may move as you wish about the country.
I kind of want to make a last-ditch effort, actually. Because
Okay.
I recall that whenever anyone speaks Strahd's name, he hears anyone or sees anyone uttering his name.
That's the belief in Barovia, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna try to hope that is true, and I'm gonna mutter to myself, "That's right, Strahd. Run with your tail between your legs. Prove yourself the coward I always knew you were.
From somewhere distant, as if it was on the wind, or if it was coming from somewhere right next to you and far away at the same time, you hear deep, deep laughter.
Oh, he gets a response.
I grin.
It's kind of the kind of laughter. I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Yep.
At which point Apple gets to do his voice because he's better at that.
Sorry, Discord.
Apple's famous for doing his Dr. Claw.
Gee, I wonder who the main character is.
Yes, in this anime, I am Sosuke Bosuke.
Yeah. Okie doke.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I thought I was the main character. I'm kidding.
You are all main characters. I love all my children. And I tell each one of you, I really like you best.
That's good parenting, right?
That's what grandmas are supposed to do. Right, Mike?
Sure.
Oh, half-heartedly.
For anybody who's just tuning in, the secret of the family is Mike is my real-life grandson.
What about the secret?
And that basically translates into you have a way harder time than the rest of
Yeah, Mike's been raised by the nutty granny, so yeah.
It's also the fact that I keep seeing her big bads. She doesn't take it easy on me.
Yeah, no, I can't wonder why she ever would.
All right, so you are out of actual combat. Now you can go ahead and tell me what you are doing. Things seem to be settling down at the monastery. The abbot disappears down into the courtyard. There's no glowing creatures anywhere in sight. The bats have disappeared over the hill. For whatever reason, everybody seems to have moved away. What are you going to do? Did Vlad actually make it all the way up there?
You said we're out of combat.
If we're out of combat order, yeah, I'm still charging up the hill. I'm going to see
Alright.
if there's any wolves to kill left because these
In
need to die.
spite of what you would see here on the map, because I hadn't had time to remove them, as you climb the last bit of hills, you would see the tail end of the wolf packs running away from you into the forest, running east, seemingly following the flying horse and the bats, but they are probably still within range. So let me grab them here and put them about like you would actually see them. They would be probably about like this in a train of wolves with the 3 leaders in front heading back up the hill and away towards the east. All right, so if you are going to attack, we will re-roll for specific, just the limited turn order that we've got here. I'll leave him there, and I need the wolf pack back.
We're in combat again? I thought we were just going for the stunning.
I don't know. I said if you are going to attack, re-roll, because that's what I needed to know. I don't know if you are going to let them run away or if you are going to.
We don't have a raid.
Oh, I'm ready to attack, but not the wolves.
I don't care about the wolves. Our mission is to Vistani.
Aren't gonna get you. Wait, what?
All right.
Make sure I'm targeted.
All right.
And I get advantage on initiative. So a 14.
Dope. Let me grab my
Ezmerelda, that's fine.
characters over here that I use so that if one character dies, I've still got a character, and I'll get them rolled up because I don't use the characters that are on the page. I just use a stand-in one on it. And that over there. And that over there. And
Hi guys. Listen, I'm here for
Oh.
the team, okay?
the perpetual cheerleader.
Hey, it's good for the buffs and such to at the end of the order, so we can just plan our next turn. See, it's perfect.
okey-doke. All right. So, Alexander, as you see the wolves running away from you, what are you doing?
I'm going to, well, from roughly where I'm positioned, can I see it all? And, yes, screw it. I'll just take a shot at one of the wolves.
All right.
To awkwardly load and fire my crossbow once again,
Nope.
and hit a tree.
That does not hit.
Chunk. I need a better ranged weapon. Is this thing like bent or something? I know I got it
Well,
from
you
the
got
cards
it
post.
out.
I don't think this was maintained.
You got it out of a Valaki armory. Who knows how long it had been laying in there and rusting.
Alex is like kind of messing with the sight on it a little bit. It's like, this thing even blind or anything? I need a better
Nicholas,
weapon.
what are you doing in the middle of this?
Unfortunately, I needed our AFK.
Well, he had said objective, so he's gonna try to roar out to be let into the monastery.
And Alexander jumped off whatever steed he was on, right?
He keeps riding the horse up and he's just like, I demand to be let in, motherfuckers.
The gates are open. They have
okay.
not been locked. Both.
I demand to be let in.
I demand to be let in. Yeah, so he's going to have his
Yeah.
horse charge in.
I think what he meant is he demands the red carpet treatment.
He okay, so in that case what happens is he charges in and he starts roaring for the abbot.
You see that the gates are also open at the fortification area.
Hey, abbot!
And the abbot is standing just inside, looking towards the madhouse area. He is not in his glowing form. He is back into the abbot form. And he is just standing there with his hands on his hips, staring towards the east and the building. And there's a din from inside that appears to be dying down. Rather, it wasn't easy to hear from a long distance away, but apparently the creatures inside the madhouse had gotten pretty worked up at some point. Something had been going on with that. And so you can still hear this din dying down as you ride up. But the abbot turns and looks as you call and says, "Well, you could have arrived a little sooner and helped with this situation."
Where is my little friend?
"What little friend? The one that attacked Strahd?"
The little blue man? The little man in a blue coat?
You see the abbot's mouth move very slightly for just a moment, and then he takes on a very holier-than-thou look on his face and says, "Your friend has left."
Is it my turn again? Can I get closer to him?
No, it is Dirok's turn.
This is essentially 80 feet from here. I thought the Abbey was smaller.
No,
It just felt that way when we didn't have to take turns.
Yeah, and
All right.
I had you zeroed in on a battle map at one point, so you only saw the grounds themselves, just the very narrow part, from here to here kind of thing. You didn't see all the hill and all the forest and everything all the way around it. So
Over hill and dale.
pretty
Then
much.
I'm dashing and I am yelling, Abbott! Abbott! And the POTUS can definitely tell I am out for blood.
Yeah, no, we're both out for blood. Yeah, no, this is how we're going to
Let me
become
pull up
best
another
friends
shade.
again.
Let me pull
Yeah,
up
we
another
can be friends again.
The world is wrong again.
Yeah, the world will be wrong again though.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I never did specify whose blood I want, so we can leave it at that.
Hey, POTUS, why didn't you go up there and die?
Yeah, that's why I'm running up.
All right. The wolf pack, which did not get hit, continues to run, so they would be moving on further this way. And Vlad, what are you doing?
Vlad's riding up next to Apotus.
Alexander?
Is still AFK.
Oh, okay. Apotus?
What do you mean? He just rides up. What do you mean he's left?
He pulls himself up to a very haughty, tall height and says he has decided he wishes to go visit Ravenloft.
And we know Ravenloft is the castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not what I saw, though, right?
Yeah, he
I don't know about the others, but I thought I saw the blue figure like draped over. He wasn't like sitting.
Epoda and presumably on the long climb up, Dirok shared this information.
Yeah, and he
Well,
was
Vlad
No,
as
I
well.
just said that he has the halfling. I never shared
Yeah.
that
he
anything
did-
about this. So
everybody
you might want.
knows that he saw Monarch. He yelled.
All Epotus needs to know is that Strahd has Monarch. Strahd's not the type of person to politely invite somebody for tea. Epotus wants to insight check this guy to see, like, okay, does he seem like in the bag for Strahd?
Vlad wants to do the same.
Okay, do me an insight check.
Can I do an insight check from outside the wall? I am thinking really hard.
This wall seems very Strahd aligned.
It does. I'm gonna Kool-Aid man it.
You've got to be in visual range of their facial features and so forth to have the insight to read what they.
Then I want to insight the wall.
Yeah. It's a very.
I cast
powerful
magic
wall.
missile at what? I attack the darkness.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. So I got both of you. Epotus doesn't really read much. He's a little bit. He looks the same kind of questionable purposes that you've seen before. You don't get any greater or lesser reading than you've gotten before. And before you got a kind of a feeling that you didn't know everything there was to know about him. And in Vlad's case, he can very definitely tell that the abbot is hiding something, although not straining to hide it. He just has not spoken everything that there is to know.
And so what you mean by he has chosen is that Strahd has charmed him, and so now controls his will.
No, I can safely say, my son, that no charm spell was used whatsoever.
Then what happened? I can tell you aren't telling us everything.
Your friend wished to poke his nose in places that were not appropriate for him to do so.
Sword right for his head.
Yes.
Okay, let me see, did I put, no, I didn't put him on the turn order. Let me get him in the turn order here real quick. Up here, and click on that. If it ever clicks. There we go. Oh, okay. Let's put him, come on. You can do it. Move up there. Okay. Sword to the head.
I want to say,
Boot to the head.
could I say correction? Wrathful smite, sword to the head.
Hey, yeah, go ahead and make your attack that you're going to do. And it is.
And then am I permitted to do the wrathful smite?
Yes. And I've got to look at his.
So-
let's see. Okay. So and I want to look up something. Just give me 1 second, please. I've got to look up something.
Does a 23 hit?
Yes.
So takes 12 slashing and then
I
2
don't think-
psychic damage.
Yeah.
If he's a creature, he has to beat a 14 wisdom save, which presumably will be crazy easy for him. But if he fails, he's frightened of me for the next minute. And in order to break it, he has to use an action and he has to beat a check, which he has disadvantage on because he's afraid of me.
Okay, just a second. I have to look at something here, trying to figure out. Exactly how his. Yeah. All right, same thing as the other. All right, works the same way. Okay, so I'll go back to the roll page, and now the attack that you made, the sword that you made the attack with, is a normal long sword, right?
Yes. So presumably he takes like half or nothing.
Yeah, he's taking half damage from that sword, and then your wrathful smite is radiant,
Psychic.
psychic.
Yeah, I haven't used this spell yet. I've been saving it for the right moment, and this is probably it.
This is definitely the right moment. I can promise you.
All right, he does not have
No.
any immunities on psychic. All right, he takes 6 plus 2 if he fails the wisdom check.
No, he automatically takes the 2 from the Wrathful Smite,
All right,
but he has to now he has to make a Wisdom save and beat a 14, which he presumably will do. But I'm just kind of hoping he does.
17.
Okay, yeah, he does.
All right, so he took 14 damage. And instantaneously, his form transforms into a being with wings, and he grows in size to about 8 feet tall, and these wings stretch out to about the same length. He is absolutely an amazing creature when he does this. All right, it is Alexander's turn if he's back.
Yep, I made it back.
Oh no, it's Vlad's
So-
turn. Wait a minute. Where are we? Apotus?
You've forsaken
No, it's
yourself.
Dirok's turn. Excuse me. I hadn't moved the bar. It's Dirok's turn. Apotus just got his attack.
I forget where 40 is. About right there. About right here. Am I in sight?
Yes, you can see them through the gates from where you're standing.
Just dash and get right next to him. Come on, bud. Let's do this.
I can get an attack off right now. I do have range.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, I'm yelling out for your Vistani woman. Where are you? I fly into a rage, and I am throwing a javelin.
Hit the angel. Hit the angel. We haven't committed enough blasphemy this campaign.
Right. 15.
And does not hit.
Okay. It flies between all of your heads and right into the wall, I guess.
Yeah, it flies flies over by those chicken coops and troughs and things that were on the far side of the wall.
I had a very dark thought. I run up to the gates, and I close them. Welcome to your deaths.
Alexander's still out there with you.
Wanted to get a quick update. While I was missing, did my character just sit here and idle? Because I kind
That
of
was
was
all I
hoping
could
he'd
do,
follow
and I will
along.
let you go ahead. And
Yeah.
the first question is, did you try again? The Wolf Pack continued to run because you missed them the first time.
Yeah, no,
Did
I wasn't
you-
going to change that role
Okay.
specifically.
So you're not going to shoot at them again, so they will have just continued to move off. And Alexander can
Yeah.
take a turn out of turn to move his character up.
I was
Yeah,
just going to follow up with the rest of the crew.
Yeah, presumably you were either keeping up with the Dirok or you were still on the back of my horse. In
be
which
a
case you're
li-
either with me or
Yeah, if you were still on Apotus's horse, you are inside the yard.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. If that was an option, I thought for some reason we couldn't get the horse through the gate, but that's a completely different even campaign I'm thinking about.
You rode
I think
the
we
horses
talked
through
about
the
that.
gate. Yeah, you rode the horses through the gate last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gate's like more than 10 feet wide. It's big. All right, so you are inside the yard next to a POTUS. All right, so the wolf pack just continues to run off to the east. They eventually will disappear off the map, so I'm going to just take them off of the turn order so that we're not concerned with them. And Dirok, you threw your spear. You missed him. So it
Javelin.
is javelin, excuse me. And it is finally the abbot's turn. And he has changed into this. Let me see if it does not have it. Okay, I was wondering if I had the celestial form on him, but I don't. So he will cast, first off, he will cast a sacred weapon of a mace that will appear in the air beside Ippotus, and it will swing at him. This one over here. And he makes 2 attacks with the weapon. And he rolls a 23 and a 22 with his mace.
This is fine. This is fine.
And the first one, neither of them are, however, they do have radiant damage on them. And you take, on the first one, you take 5 bludgeoning damage and 22 radiant damage.
Oh!
On the second one,
Okay.
you take 5 bludgeoning damage and 15 radiant damage.
So what's the total damage?
Let's see, 5 and
What?
22 is 27, 5 and 15 is 20, so 47 damage.
Nope.
I go
nope,
from
nope.
51
Good night.
to 4.
Nope. I'm hightailing out of here.
This is the reason I didn't want to fight the abbot. We came here for a reason.
Oh,
Quick load! Quick load!
Run away!
Run away!
Tonight.
Vlad!
Vlad will grab POTUS's arm and say, "What are you doing? This is not why we came here." And cast, use my last first level spell to cast, what's it called? Cure Wounds. But I can't find the spell. There it is.
No, confuse him. Cast Cure Wounds on him, and then no, like
I will cast
just knock
Cure
him,
Wounds on the abbot.
just knock POTUS out, and be like, no, this isn't what we're here for. Abbott, wait, no.
I will cast Cure Wounds on the abbot.
Okay. Yeah, the abbot took a couple of points of damage, didn't he? So let's see. Give him back.
So that's 2 plus spells level plus 2, so 5.
So it's 5 total?
5 total healing.
He stops and stares at you when you do that, and he immediately changes his demeanor, and he almost seems to like shrink in on himself when you do that. He's very startled. Alexander, what are you doing?
That was a good feint. Now we can go in.
Did Vlad have anything else? Was that a bonus action or anything?
He was not a bonus action, but he was going to talk.
Okay, go ahead.
I apologize, Abbot. We were not here to do battle. We simply wish to know about what happened to our friend, and we wish to know about the Vestani woman.
The Vistani woman. She betrayed. I gave her shelter. I protected her. I fed her under my own roof. and she proceeded to attack my guest. Lord Vasili was here, and she attacked him.
Who?
Lord Vasili.
Who? Pardon me, I do not know this name. Who is Lord Vasili?
Lord Vasili von Holtz, of course. He's one of the nobles of Barovia.
No taking time.
I know that name sounds familiar, OOC, by the way.
Does
Okay.
this... Okay, that's very much my turn.
Yeah, Alexander, now what are you going to do?
I do have a thought, Alex, on Discord.
Oh yeah. Well, Alex, I think, has a similar plan to what's going to be happening, but I'm gonna let Dirog send me a quick message before we. Yeah. Exactly that.
Okay.
So, Alex is going to do something that I haven't done for a long time.
Okay.
Something?
Thought of something.
Ouch.
I think that's what I heard.
No, I said hit something. I'm sorry.
Oh, hit something.
That was too perfect.
So good.
It was too
That was
perfect of a
cruel.
chance.
That was cruel. Okay.
No,
so,
it's all
You can't be a lawful good cleric anymore.
okay, so what's Alexander doing?
Oh, the cleric falls. I'm going to make the paladin fall. The backhand. God damn it. If I can't swing worth anything, I'm gonna blow with my super special action dice.
You're trying to like knock me out.
Yeah.
Yes,
you're
I am
trying to-
literally cracking him over the back of the head with the
What?
back end of the forearm.
Instead,
You want to do it to a POTUS.
Instead, you just get this like whack to the back of the head,
Oh,
like,
fucking.
and the
What
POTUS
are
just
you-
kind of like turns and
What are you
looks.
Doing?
And the POTUS
Alex,
is
Alex can't
anything
hide
else?
this. He doesn't really have a helmet to wink or to use to hide his winking, but he's going to say, "You can't just attack someone just because they fail to follow your moral." Yes, I know. He didn't try and kill Strahd outright. He wants a path of peace.
And so, POTUS, you can formally respond to this now.
I'm going to conquering presence everybody here.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'm so
Oh,
glad
yeah.
I'm nowhere near you guys.
Oh dear.
DC 14, right?
Yes. Everybody gets a wisdom
Yes.
DC 14.
Let me
God.
Because I'm not with you guys. Oh yeah.
The abbot rolls 17.
God, that asshole. I just
Of course,
wanted
I
to.
roll only
I want him to
I
have
guess
speed
what, I'm a
0.
cleric.
Vlad rolls 21. Jason, however, Alex suddenly is very frightened of
That was a bad
POTUS.
plan.
So you're frightened of me. You can repeat it at the end of your turn, and your speed is until you're not frightened of me. Your speed is, and within 10 feet, your speed is 0. And you take 3 seconds.
What range is this? Does it affect Dirok?
Yeah, is this affecting me too?
You're like right at the arc of it, so that's up to the DM.
No, I'll make it up
What's
to
the
Dirok.
range?
It's
30 feet? Yeah, I'm within 30 feet of them, I think.
Do
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Yep.
Just
So let's
barely
do it.
now.
Whatever. Let's just say yeah.
Okay, so give
All
me
right.
a wisdom save, Dirok.
10!
Yeah. So
You saved the party. I'm just letting you know right now.
yeah. So just basically just this darkness just seems to like swell around him, and it fixates it because these two divine guys are like, whatever, cool, whatever. But Alex and Dirok, you see like just there's this deep hatred of you right now.
And
From
I gotta
the
make
side of
a
his face.
roll for a couple of other things. Give me just a moment. There's some other wisdom rolls going on here. Give me one moment. The creature who is chained to the stake is terrified so badly that she is injuring herself against the chains, trying to.
Oh, no.
She rolled a
Oh.
natural one. All right.
Yeah. And Epotus he is fixated on that, and he's still like, he does that, and then he's just still staring at the abbot. He snaps back to the abbot.
Hey, guess what? Guess what, Apotus? I hate you again.
But that is the only other one that is affected. There could have been something else, but they were not affected.
We almost had a death ride of friendship.
Okay. All right. So POTUS has now feared half the party. Dirok, you have to move away from him or something here because you are fearful
Well,
of him.
I can't.
He's afraid, not turned.
He can't come closer to me. Alex has a speed of 0.
So I can essentially stay where I am. I just
And you
can't
can-
make any movement forward.
And you can attack the abbot. You just cannot attack POTUS.
Well, the plan was he's grabbing his blood spear now, which is not a ranged weapon. So
Technically, it is.
no, I can't use it as a throw.
You can't use it as a throw?
No, the
I cannot.
write-up on it specifically uses it as a melee weapon.
Yep. So I have the blood spear in hand. I suddenly feel this kind of like dread, and now I'm basically just a rabid dog, kind of like holding the ground.
The good news is the fear will so overwhelm you that you feel a fight or flight that will maintain your rage.
Oh, so wait, I'm gonna stay in rage.
This is fine.
Because of the fight or flight, you will stay enraged, only you don't have an immediate opponent to take it out on. You might be attacking
Okay.
walls or bushes or whatever, but you are still enraged because of the mental contortions that you are going through.
Okay, not what I was expecting.
This is fine.
Yeah.
The abbot, just like waves his hand in front of Epotus's face, and he says, "There will be none of that. Cease your actions immediately. You will not bring more harm into this compound than has already been done tonight. What this woman has done has nearly disrupted all my plans to soothe Strahd. The Lord Vasili came to observe her, and this broke out. He was attacked by the woman that I had had as a guest."
And what happened to our companion that we left in your care, Abbot?
I told you. He has left with Lord Vasili
Willingly?
to visit Ravenloft Castle.
Willingly?
He was not entirely in agreement with it, no. But he was also causing certain disruptions here regarding the betrothal ceremony.
I'm so glad
He
I'm not there.
Glad.
He looks down at Vlad and says, "You handle this before I do something
I mean, I'm at the
Something
same
more dumb.
something really stupid."
We'll finish this
and
round, and
POTUS
we'll go one
starts-
more round to complete the conversation. and we'll stop for
Epotus
the night.
starts backing out.
Very good. And Vlad, what are you going to do?
I cast Divine... No. I say, you must understand our skepticism. We left Monarch here with you on the understanding that he would be taken care of and be kept safe. Not draped over a horse like a sack and taken off to Ravenloft.
Lord Vasili has promised me he will not be harmed. He will be a guest at Ravenloft. And that brings me to one more thing. and he reaches into his sleeve and pulls out a folded piece of paper that has a castle and a raven symbol on it to seal it shut. It's got a wax seal on it with a raven and a castle. You have seen this before in Death House.
It's God's seal.
And he hands it to you, Vlad, and he says, he specifically is inviting you. You may bring this at any time that you wish, and he has promised you safe passage into his castle. He kind of smiles, an enigmatic smile.
Yeah, Epodus stops at that.
Safe entry. I'm more curious about safe exit. Did he say anything about that?
You may read the note yourself.
Vlad nods and tucks it into his belt, I suppose. The Vistani woman, Ezmerelda, she is dead?
No, she has escaped.
Vlad nods. So be it. We came here to see what was going on. And it seems we have accomplished our mission. Still behind from the gate.
I'll take you out of combat. And he says, as he kind of dismisses you with kind of a regal dismission, he says, I encourage you to find that wedding dress. We cannot soothe the angered beast until we have married him properly to Vasilka.
Brings me to another question. I thought the devil himself was coming here. It was Lord Vasili instead?
Appears he has sent an emissary, yes.
Thank you. We will take our leave now.
Where is the Vistani woman?
You said she ran off.
As Vlad walks back out of the gate on his horse, says, Ezmerelda has escaped. She has probably gone to Van Richten.
I backed away from Epodus, still affected by him, still raging.
And with that, you are out of combat, and we will leave it there for the evening. As you step away from the grounds, you see the abbot turning almost peacefully as if nothing had happened and strolling towards the church. And that is the last you see as you start to leave the monastery. All right, we will take up here next week. Exciting week. Again, I tell our viewers to keep an eye out for the impending issue of Dragon Plus, where we'll be featured in it along with a bunch of things about children and D&D. They're also going to have old ladies in D&D. So it'll be an interesting article, and ought to be pretty enjoyable. This issue is going to be a fun issue because he's talking about bringing D&D to basically every age group in the world, so it ought to be fun. So I hope you do that, and in the meantime, we will all wish you well. Does anybody have any final comments for the evening?
I'm so glad Sylvia wasn't there for any of this.
The last two times you guys have kind of been out of participation in this. Hopefully we can get you guys up and going and participate.
I'm sorry, guys.
I think they're all right with living.
I would say that since I had already dropped the thing, I would go look for the horses and start collecting them. Just numb.
All right, that would
hearing
be
that Monarch are taken.
that would be perfectly acceptable that you would gather that. Now you still have not had a full night's rest, and at this point it is about 3 o'clock in the morning. So you will have to make some decisions next week.
Could we just say that we're retiring because we're like half dead?
Yeah. So
You're a lot
Still
more than
pretty
half
fine.
dead.
You
I
have
am, definitely.
You have definitely piqued the curiosity of the villagers. They are out gabbling in small groups because there's this daylight streaming down through their windows. There was screaming and yelling and horrible sounds of battle and people yelling and bats flying overhead and all these horrible things going on. So they are muttering in groups. You will probably be able to come stumbling back down and plead exhaustion trying to defend the village, and they would allow you to sleep a sufficiently long time in their houses until mid-morning or whatever, so that you would be able to finally get a full night's sleep if you wish.
We desperately need it.
Yeah, you've been going pretty strong for about 2 days.
Some more than others, Ipodis. How much health do you have, by the way?
I am at 4
Hey, just think of it this
out of
way.
60.
Just think of it this way. Now he has no excuse to go walking off on his own.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they
Alright.
clearly don't know
you
about it.
think. Yeah, no, Vlad, the thing that is kind of probably unsettling to you is you've never seen him this tweaked by something. Like, the fact that the abbot was doing the things it's doing seems to be bothering him.
When we take up next week, you will take up after having rested in several houses for the evening. Sylvia has gathered the horses and they've all been put into the Burgomeister's stable, which is larger. It looks like at one time he had quite a number of horses, although now he only has a couple. He at one time had quite a number of horses, and so you would be able to put it there. Victor would also find room to park his wagon if he wished to do so. So you will have rested when you begin next time. So we will see you all next time a little bit better in health, a little wiser regarding certain powers that exist in this land, and we'll see what trouble they get into next time. Bye-bye from Crone's Crucible.
Bye, guys.
Night.
Later.